Alright, in the last movie, 8 months after the events of Re-animator, Herbert West and Dan Kane are working as medics in the middle of Peruvian civil war, doing experiments on freshly dead bodies. After their tents get stormed, they return home to Arkham, where West resumes his work and wants to reanimate a whole body using different body parts and a Megan's heart. At the same time, Dr. Carl Hill plots his revenge and manipulates Dr. Wilbur Graves to help him. Lieutenant Leslie Chapman investigates the Miskatonic massacre events and targets West for it. And after a bit of banter, he dies by a chemical West made that causes a heart attack. Dr. Hill gets wings attached to his head by Wilbur and attacks West with the zombie army, while West just reanimated his body from the parts. But the body sadly cannot stand by itself and dies because body parts reject each other. And before that, it even fights Dan's current girlfriend from Peru, Francesca. West, Carl, and Francesca retreat to the crypt to escape the zombie army, but it suddenly collapses on them, trapping them and crushing Dr. Hill beneath it. And only Dan and Francesca escape the crypt.
Hello common people, this is Common Guy Reviews and I am your lovely host Pep Sam. In this episode we go and review Beyond Re-animator, a 2003 Spanish-American horror film directed by Brian Yuzna. In this review I am going to spoil the whole movie as it is the last one in this trilogy. If you want to look this by yourself, go do it now because I'll wait you right here. Last movie was out in 1990, so it's been 13 years and so it is in the movie. Over a decade, Dr. Herbert West has been serving a prison sentence due to murder that was caused by one of his zombies. Before Herbert is taken to the prison, a lone boy and survivor of this deadly encounter looks at him in the eyes, finding his reagent on the ground before a mad scientist is taken away. In this prison, West tries to continue his work getting anything he can to help him. He does experiments with rats that inhabit the prison and seemingly he has found something that may help him to get a breakthrough in his work. West is now visibly older, but his attitude is same as ever, and a certain spunk is still there. He has been able to discover this thing he calls NPA or nanoplasmic energy. An energy that can be taken from a living thing and transferred into a body to give it something we could call soul, and restore it to the lifelike state. It is so nice to see West again, and it is so nice that he can still act as himself, and all these years have not changed him at all. Prison is a gloomy place with a gloomy people that is led by tyrannic and tough Warden Brando, who makes people obey him by hitting them with his cane or electrocuting them in a special chair. His ideology is that the criminals must suffer pain, more the better. And of course when he finds out that the West has this reagent that can keep people alive, he is just joyful. Why? Well, I'm not going to spoil that because it's kinda gnarly thing. Meanwhile, a young doctor named Howard Phillips takes a job in this prison. We are very soon aware that he has taken interest in West's work and wants to work alongside with him. When West helped him with a patient that had a heart attack, Phillips reveals that he is the same boy that from that night West was taken away. He even has the reagent with him, nice and ready to be used to this freshly decayed prisoner. I don't know why Howard is not harboring any grudge toward West because he is the reason his family died after all. But oh well. West can now continue his research as the journalist Laura Onley makes a story about this prison. Howard falls in love with her, surprise there, and sudden chaos erupts. In an attempt to get more story out of the warden, Laura pursues him, but warden tries to seduce her, failing miserably, and gets furious about it and kills Laura. Phillips is devastated. West agrees on reanimating her, and reveals the secret of NPA that could make her human again. They kill Warden Brando and take his NPA, transferring it into the girl. This is a mistake, because NPA transfers not only the life but the personality, so now Warden is in Laura's body, basically, that tries to take over. Prison break happens at the same time, inmates kill guards and everyone tries to escape. West resurrects Warden with the rat's NPA and hilarious things happen. Laura tries to kill Phillips and finally Phillips manages to decapitate her, falling into madness as he sits on the ground holding her head in his lap. Armed guards barge in, find Philip and take him away. West escapes stealing Philip's ID and runs away, fading into the fog, as this trilogy's final piece ends. It was so nice to see West's personality was kept so intact. Also this movie had two major points that I noticed. One, it was almost full comedy. Two, there was not so much practical effects as in the last movies. Towards the end we see more of it, but almost 80% of the film we deal with fake blood and not any moving corpses or puppets. There were nice comedic side characters like a Yankee who wanted to try everything to get high, this Spanish dude whose rat West used in his experiments, and this weird dude named Moses that was super religious but keen to eat human flesh. Warden was evil and deserved his end, and I hoped that West's story would also end it here, but it didn't. He is out somewhere still doing his thing. Prison was a nice place to shoot this movie. It was a whole facility with all the cells and torture rooms and stuff. Even if we didn't get so much practical effects at the start, the ending was good. A lot of mutilated bodies that move and a lot of blood. I highly recommend again that you take a look at this. This trilogy is must watch for any horror fan that enjoys some comedic touch in between. And so it is over. Sadly, we must move on to somewhere else, out from the firm grasp of H.P. Lovecraft and his mad stories, and find again something else that we enjoy. Next week we are diving again to the world of streaming services, and I try to find something perhaps nice and tidy. This was my review about Beyond Re-animator. This was Common Car Reviews, and speaking to you, your lovely host Pepse, and I'll see you in the next review. Goodbye.